Hello, I'm Steve Cavanagh. I'm here in Waterstones Piccadilly this morning. I'll tell you a little bit about my new book. It's called Twisted. It's a book about twists. It's a psychological thriller about one of the world's greatest mystery writers, J.T. LeBeau, and the biggest mystery is his identity. And I'm going to talk about three books which inspired Twisted. And the first book we're going to talk about is by one of my favourite authors, Michael Connelly. And the book is The Black Echo. It's the very first in the Harry Bosch series, and as you can also see, it's the big read for the Waterstones Peculiar Crime Festival this year. This is Michael's first book and introduces Harry Hieronymus Bosch, an LAPD murder detective. The book traces Harry's history. He was a Vietnam vet, and he finds that one of his former colleagues in arms is found dead in a tunnel off Mulholland Drive. And Harry investigates. I wanted to create a really good police officer for my new book, a psychological thriller, and the touchstone for all great detectives, I think, in this modern age is Harry Bosch. The reason he endures so much, and there are so many in the series, I think, is all down to Michael creating this character that people love. Why do they love Harry Bosch? I think it's because, perhaps more than other detectives, Bosch has a lot of heart. He has this saying, everybody counts or no one counts. And if you go in now to the robbery homicide division in Los Angeles, that is their logo now, which they have adopted. So this is the first in the series. I would strongly recommend you get this book. You won't be able to put it down. Well, the next book I want to talk to you about is a brilliant psychological thriller by Patricia Highsmith. This is the very first Ripley novel. It was published, I think, in 1955. And was nominated for a number of awards. Patricia Highsmith is one of the greatest suspense novelists we've ever had. She wrote Strangers on a Train, she worked in movies, but for me this is her finest achievement. The character of Tom Ripley, we first meet him, he's a low-level scam artist, and he meets a factory mogul whose son has moved to Europe, and he wants Tom Ripley to go and meet his son and persuade him to come back into the family business. What he doesn't know is that Tom Ripley not only is a con artist, but is also a pure psychopath. And the crowning achievement of this novel is Highsmith gets you to root for a completely amoral character in Tom Ripley and even fall in love with him. So I think for anyone who loves psychological thrillers, and they're very big these days, The Talented Mr. Ripley has to be on your list. Final book I'd like to talk to you about is one of my favourite novels of all time. It's Misery by Stephen King. Stephen King is known as a horror writer, but really is much more. For me, he is one of the greatest suspense novelists of all time, and this is probably one of the best suspense books you'll ever read. The tagline is, Paul Sheldon used to write for a living, now he's writing to stay alive. You've probably seen the movie with Kathy Bates and James Caan. The book is so much better. And the book is about a writer called Paul Sheldon, who is sort of trapped writing this Victorian saga about a character called Mystery Chastain. And he wants to be so much more. He wants to write a crime novel. And he gets waylaid. There's a car accident in Colorado, and he is rescued by his #1 fan, Annie Wilkes. And Annie Wilkes is just a perfect creation. She is the ultimate monster. She is more frightening than Hannibal Lecter. The novel gets suspense out of so little. There is a scene where Paul has to bend down and pick up a paper clip, and that sounds very ordinary, but such is King's mastery that you're really gripping this book. So buy 2 copies, because you'll have torn this one apart because you're gripping it so hard, and the other copy you give to a friend. So I probably wouldn't have written Twisted without these 3 books. And I please urge you to go and buy them all in Waterstones.